Women's Open Championship. So got to have a feel like you have a heavy base.
Gold medal isn't in the bag. Apparently that's in a rucksack hidden away. The golden girl, Lydia Ko.
Yeah, wasn't that an extraordinary week? It really was. And just so, I don't know, heartwarming, I would say, to see someone that has won so much in the game, but she gets to the Olympics, wins a gold medal. And I've never seen a reaction like that. I really haven't. I mean, obviously, it got her into the Hall of Fame, so it was a huge, huge win. But I think it was maybe a little bit more than that. I think she realises how important the Olympic gold medal really is. And then you see Scotty Scheffler, so they're all crying their eyes out. So obviously, it has a massive, you know, it's a huge thing now. And it's isn't it lovely? They're not even playing for any money.
Playing for a bit this week, $9.5 million is the prize fund. That's increased by 500,000. The bronze and silver medalists, by the way, are playing together out on the course. They're both 4 over par. Janet Shiyu Lin and Esther Henseleit. 8.5 years since that second major championship for Lydia Ko.
When you're up, you know, another foot higher sort of thing. You're getting buffeted around, but hasn't worked out quite like that yet. I'm still banking on it though.
Ali Ewing and Lydia Ko next out in the company of Celine Boutic, chatting with Alistair Scott there, the starter.
Yeah.
Hold on tight, don't let it blow away.
A couple of weeks ago, I was in the TV chat.
Champion Lydia Ko.
She's going to like the sound of that.
The entire comms box is smiling from ear to ear, just the sound of it, as is Lydia there.
Played here as an amateur in 2013, was the low amateur, so winning the Smith Salver. 5 amateurs in the field this year.
Nice penetrating fade right there. 72 feet for the apex. One of the things that Lydia does so well is be able to...
On the tee.
I know, and it feels like it's picked up a little bit, if anything. So they've got to have a little bit of a fight early on with this golf course. It will get a little bit easier to get out to the turn, but not much. Lydia Ko, 155. I'm going to add on 25 to that, at least, from where she is. She's coming into the teeth of it from this angle. Got to keep it down. Keep that rhythm.
I might have just pured it a little too much there. Lydia is one of the greatest ball strikers of all time, so maybe was expecting a little bit more of a gust. It's easier to come in to this green from long than short. Well, you're dry first off, mind you. But beautiful, beautiful swing, great tempo. I mean, that's...
Yeah, well done. No problems at all for Lydia Ko. She'll walk off with her 4. Well, we have this familiar setting. Only the 3rd time the AI won the Dunhill Cup round here with England too. So you played round here a few times. So you're saying you've not played in a win like this?
Well, I have, but
right.
It's you wouldn't want it any windier, Richard. It'll be on the edge. Really would. So now Lydia, go. There's a lot more room down the right all the way out here if you can get it into your head. The safe option is just to keep hitting it left, but it makes the second shot harder. perfect there. One of the best. Love watching her chip. But come and play round here and you'll see all the locals get out 7 irons, but no, she's going with the lofted club, not her most lofted, but the one down. And what you will do is generate a lot of spin. It's hard to get the ball going through this wind, so she's got to be quite aggressive. Try and pitch it just on the edge of the green. It's gusting. It's gusting.
That's why you're not going to criticise her chipping, Jamie. That was beautiful, wasn't it? Perfectly controlled.
Yeah, she's one of the best, Laura, isn't she? World golf. Round the green.
Yeah, she could be really aggressive with that, straight into the wind.
It's a long week, isn't it?
It is,
Laura?
James.
It's a long week.
It is indeed.
Laura. I wish you were playing, I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Oh, I really do.
Lydia just going to tidy up here at the second. I thought that chip had gone absolutely stiff, but downwind, because of what Jamie's been saying, you have to be careful with these little ones. Yeah, it took her time, did well.
Yeah, important, isn't it? A couple of holes where she's had to show that fabulous short game that she's got, and she's come through with flying colours.
Have in such a difficult game, so yeah, she'll be up there come the end of the week if she's got any part of her game intact.
Still going into the wind here, Jamie. I take it at 3.
No, we turn a little bit of an angle here. When you think you just go straight out and back here, St Andrews, it's not true. They just turned little angles, and now the next 5 holes will be straight across. Touch of hurt, but mainly across. That doesn't make it easier from the left-hand side. You've got to be down the right if you can here, because it's a tough pin to get to if you go too far left. But that's the safe play, really, to go down the left. There's 3 bunkers down the right. Aiming well left here, Co. Oh, stay out, stay out. Boutier's been in the bunker, she just splashed it out. And Ewing's pin eye, a long way from the pin now. Lydia, 98 yards. Good angle to this pin. Oh my word.
You could tell by her feet she was aiming extremely left and obviously trying not to hit the pure strike and let the wind affect it, but she's...
Rory Davies will be back with us a little later on. Christina Kim back with us.
And we see Lydia Ko with a lengthy putt for her birdie here. These are the putts that are going to be testing the players, I think, quite a bit, because they're just, we don't generally play on greens of these size. So direction, so between the wind and that fringe cut, just slowed it down just enough to keep it out.
It's got to 14, the par 4. Lydia Ko's there. It's an interesting driving hole. This one, there are lumps and bumps down the left-hand side. 225, you've got to hit it to carry them. It's quite a narrow little entrance. That's absolutely, well, that is ginormous, I do believe. It's perfect as well. Wouldn't be anything else if it was Lydia Ko, would it?
Left fairway bunker there, had that low penetrating trajectory, tumbling draw.
Lydia Ko with her second shot here to the 4th. Perfect tee shot, 127. Sort of in between clubs here. Wind off the left. It's gettable, this pin though on the right hand side. She's got to be left this pin, let it feed in.
James, she's aiming about 40 yards left of this flag.
Yeah, she did that the last hole. I mean, it's easy to double cross yourself, isn't it, when you do this? This one's coming back though. Go on, keep going. Well, 3 birdie putts coming up.
all three finding the short grass. BT8 Ewing as well.
The wind. Same putt for Coe that Ewing just had, so she's had a good read. And it's just coming up this slope. It sort of maybe just threw it a little bit left for Ali Ewing, and then it will come back the other way. So this has really helped her, seeing Ewing's putt.
She's usually pretty dangerous with a read as well. That one not far away.
Putt for birdie, but not having to contend with those mounds that are, sort of nestled in the front of the green.
Only 2 par 5s on the golf course. First one, the 5th. Pretty generous tee shot. Bunkers all the way down the right, though. 490. It is reachable. Wind off the left mainly. Slightly hurting, but I think you can still reach with a good tee shot here and a good bounce.
Very serviceable there from Lydia Ko over on that left side of the fairway.
We see all sorts. She actually got asked to sign a little girl's Nellie the elephant yesterday out on the golf course.
She signed the Nellephant? That's amazing.
She's left with the crane, see the stand out there. It's not a stand, would be ideal.
Okay, got the driver, are they? 245.
Bold move, this one, James.
Oh, I don't see any problem with this. 224 the front, Trish. I think just a decent straight hit. She can get it there. The spectacle bunkers, though, are staring at you 40 yards short of this green. Good lie. Needs to be.
It's like a boomerang. It's extraordinary, the amount of turn on that.
Yeah, and the fact that she was able to get it to launch so high in the air, that was pretty impressive. She's going to have a slightly scraggly lie there in that.
We need to go back there. There's the noises and the words. Wow. Very descriptive. Downwind, left to right. Oh, she has played an absolute gem.
IG Women's Open this week. We wish him the best in his next chapter, but they try and start the week around 10.5 in green speed and then adjust accordingly depending on the weather. Actually, they slowed them down, Christina.
Yes, due to the weather, as we see Lydia Ko rolling in. Great up and down for her birdie here. Going back to it, due to the weather, in order to maintain the ability to compete and...
Okay, but I'm not sure.
6th tee, Ko, 363 yards, blind tee shot. They know the bunkers down the right, and there's the coffin bunkers left on 13. There's no bunkers there.
It's a guessing game, isn't it? Watching it goes out of.
And 123 for the brilliant Lydia Ko. Just got to take a bit more club and hit it easier in these windy conditions. Aiming well left again. Don't want to put too much curve on it if you can avoid it.
Judged it beautifully there. Had a bit of an awkward bounce, to be honest, and a spin, the side spin took it away, but nonetheless a really good effort.
Landed within about 7-8 feet of the flag. She's certainly going with the wind out there, and it's working so far for Lydia Ko.
You take him out in.
It's a good day for a double harness up there, I think. We do have a couple of cranes around, but very capable camera people atop them as we go to Lydia Ko.
She's got a really solid base for a putting stroke. Co, she goes, well, yeah, you can see it's the wind straight into her eyes and they're watering. Not a lot you can do about that. Got to look at the hole, haven't you? Got a lovely wide base to a putting stroke. The hands just fit beautifully onto the putter. The wind is a factor here. Oh wow, that gusted then.
Added a lot of width to her stance there, gave it a good run.
Yeah, for sure. And she was 27, 28 feet to give it a more of a wrap than, you know, you don't just make your backstroke longer. You have to actually hit the putts.
Earlier in the week they were struggling to carry the fairway here. This one's drifted down the right. Should be okay. Depends on the line. Looks like you see the back of the ball, so she should be fine.
100%. Commit to it. Yeah.
It's fold back on itself from 7 through 11. So we jump over to Lydia Ko.
Cameraman just fell out of that crane we were talking about.
2 holes at the Chevron Championship to apply pressure to the eventual winner in Nelly Corder as we go to Lydia Ko.
Gonna have to hit this one just outside left, and it stayed there. Good putt, well played hole, really well played.
It's 5 yards, 4 yards short of that lip of the bunker there.
It'll kick left to right, so I mean, you're almost feeling like right into that bunker over there by that blue flag, and that'll really kick it. They're going to steep left to right in here. There's bunkers.
At last, you got the wind off the right. At last,
And if you do it,
the
you
8th
have
hole.
plenty of room.
173, so you can hit this out the right hand side and let the wind take it in.
Just, again, you've seen quite a few go past this pin because you think you've hit the perfect shot. Hits on, well, it's not really a downslope, pretty flat, but you're always with that top spin that's being put on the ball with that right to left wind. And that's the result, and that's a difficult up and down into the wind, which helps.
So the first sigh of relief.
Feels in.
And Lydia Ko, she's going aerial here, good line. Not sure there's much room for that, to be honest with you. That's a strange choice.
Jamie, that has to be a wrong decision there, doesn't it? I mean, that's strange.
On links golf it is, yeah.
Into
I
that
didn't see
wind?
that. Yeah, into the wind. You play a mid-shot, really, in the window.
Past champ Ash Buhai, winner at Muirfield. To the 9th.
This is the second for Lydia Ko. This green, one of the flattest on the golf course. One of 4 holes which doesn't have a double green. And that's going to leave Lydia long putts here. Probably the longest putt in the game you can find at St Andrews. If you're putting back into the wind, it's a real problem.
You don't get a lot of 300-foot putt opportunities like you would at
Not
the 5th.
very often. There's a lot of things that you don't find unless you come to St Andrews. Lydia now for her birdie. So just a par for Lydia.
We go to the 10th and the newest member of the LPGA Hall of Fame, Lydia Ko.
I thought it was so interesting how much she's actually been asked, as if, you know, she'd retire now that, as if the Hall of Fame was her end-all, potential end of her career. She has talked about potentially an early retirement, but she still has more goals left in her career that she wants to achieve, including another major.
But this was the one that she wanted so badly, the gold medal to complete the collection. Esther Henseleit, brilliant. Also was second last week, Scottish Open. And then Shiyu Lin, and both Henseleit and Lin said their medals, they didn't win, but they felt like it was almost even better than an LPGA victory in some ways.
Well, on that stage, I mean, there's no bigger stage in terms of eyeballs than the Olympic Games, and I have to imagine that those were the happiest they've ever been, finishing second of the hotel today.
Over at the 10th, Lydia Ko for a birdie to get back under par.
That was interesting, Lydia talking about how she really doesn't feel like she's played well on links courses and hasn't really had a particularly good showing at the AIG Women's Open. And she's really hoping to change that here this week. We know how well she's playing. It's on full display in Paris, but I would expect with her creativity.
Might have the same length putt if she was going for the hole at 8.
This is Lydia Ko on the tee at the 11th. The backup was quite severe there, so they're trying to ease it by letting groups play up. So the group on the green has moved to one side. There's not a lot scheduled. The FM Global Championship. This is Lydia Ko at the 11th. Lydia saying coming into the week, she doesn't play particularly well on links golf courses, not necessarily her forte, but she's got such imagination and such skill around the greens that you really had to think about her as somebody who could go very well here this week, especially coming off what she did at the Olympics a couple of weeks ago. It's funny the talk about retirement. She's now asked about it quite regularly. She probably regrets the fact that she said I might retire by the time I'm 30, because everyone tends to focus on when she's going to end her playing days rather than thinking about the future and what she could do over the next several years. Talked about that green there sloping from back to front and just from long range. So
the flags are straight across.
So the par putt here for Lydia Ko at the 11th. You can see the 7th green is part of this 11th, the big double green. And this green sits up, so you feel like it's quite exposed up there, same as the tee. Plays across what would be almost the feeling of a valley. It's going to be a drop shot for Lydia, and it was the inspiration that Bobby Jones used for the 4th hole at Augusta National. It was this 11th.
He did not have the best memories.
No, he did have a few issues here in his career, yeah, having to walk off after not being able to get it out of the bunker.
But it worked out pretty well.
It worked out pretty well for him, and he obviously realized that it was one of the factors there. Let's go to the 12th.
And Lydia. I do wonder, when you think about the adverse conditions that you so often get at AIG Women's Open, Lydia, her strength has always been short game. Her ball striking hasn't always been elite compared perhaps to some others. And perhaps that explains why her record isn't quite what she hoped it would be. She did get the Smith Salver as the low amateur the last time the Open was here, 2013.
It's a toss-up.
They're certainly out of bounds back there at some point.
Lydia got under par early. Born in Korea. Represents New Zealand. Won that gold and was in tears hearing the New Zealand national anthem in Paris.
It's been a year of some pretty tremendous accomplishments, but that one by Lydia, going in, knowing what was on the line, and just getting it done in such a calm manner, really. She had a little adversity there on the back 9. Hit it in the water on 13. She actually told Karen Stupples and I this morning at breakfast that she had that club she hit on 13, the 9-iron, checked the next week in Scotland, and it was off by a degree.
See?
And it didn't go as far as she had expected it to go, but
the potential of finding one of those hidden bunkers. 13.
This is Lydia Ko on the tee.
This has been, Tom, nearly an impossible fairway to hit today. Only a quarter of the field hitting this fairway. Most players aiming well to the right and just accepting the fact that it might be in the rough, but you're going to have a shot at the green. Have to avoid those left fairway bunkers at all costs. Just like that, running through the fairway up the right.
It's just an odd-shaped fairway. It's just the way the hole plays. It's just... Back at the 13th hole, this is the second shot for Lydia Ko. And there's a good indication of how much real estate there is with the green there, 96 yards. Double green. So that shows you where the 5th hole is today. So it's running this way from the bottom of the screen up to the top, and they're coming back down the other way at 13. So many people.
The ballot was a big change, though, wasn't it? Because a lot of people would come and get here wee hours of the morning.
There are some tour operators that have tee times, but there are other golf courses to play here as well, and I think over the coming years going to do more to encourage people to play the other golf courses, great courses here in the St Andrews area.
45,000 rounds a year around this golf course. That's just a massive number. But everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to be part of history, get their picture taken on the bridge, you know, walking.
Walk back out the other way.
It's a hardy lot, though, here in Scotland.
Maybe the students are coming back into town. It's a university town, of course.
You look a lot more.
But also just beautiful scenery and lots of places to explore inland as we go to the 14th.
And Lydia Ko's 3rd. Can you imagine if she finishes off this historic season with a victory at the Old?
Similar to how she didn't think she could get to the 9th green.
At the 14th, Lydia to get it into red figures.
Oh, that's really a hole you want to take advantage of. One of the only holes playing under par. Only 2 par 5s on this golf course.
2 birdies, 2 bogeys for Lydia. Even par, by the way, at the moment. Tied for 14th.
Nearly got away with it. Let's go to the tee at the 15th. And Lydia Ko. She said she really started to understand and fall in love with links golf after the week at Muirfield a few years ago in this championship, which is one of the great links courses. That's not that far away from here as the crow flies, but in order to get there, you've got to drive all the way around the Firth of Forth and across the bridge there. And this is Lydia Ko's 2nd. Now she's going to have to employ her tremendous short game there to get that up and down, and it's a bogey. Now the 3rd for Lydia at the 15th.
I was talking to Lydia a little bit earlier this week and asking about, you know, since Paris, since winning. She said, I think it was good that I played last week. I had the opportunity to really continue to focus on golf and you know, did a press conference, but I didn't feel.
Lydia Ko for a par at the 15th. Just that green over on the right side, close to where the gentleman's standing with the microphone.
And that dramatic move there with her left arm, something she started doing when she employed Chris Cho earlier this year to help her with her putting a little bit, helps her square her shoulders. He said it was kind of just a drill, but she and both Head On You like to implemented into their actual routine as well.
Best finish in this championship, a tie for third back in 2015 at Turnberry.
Don't get many looks that close. And now Lydia on the tee.
Going with that really low tee. There you see those bunkers up the left, the three together. The principal knows bunkers. Don't want to be in them, just like you don't want to be in the principal's office.
Oh, 3 nostrils in the principal's nose. So Lydia works with Holton Freeman, and another of his pupils is Ronan Yin. And Holton is here this week, and he said, my claim to fame is that the first competitive round Lydia played after I began working with her, she shot 80 at the U.S. Women's Open. And I thought, well, I'm done. There you go, one and done. Well, since then, of course. The lead here. As we take you to the 16th, staring down the Old Course Hotel, Lydia Ko with her second.
Trying to flight something into that heavy crosswind. Just brilliant. She's so good with those wedges.
Yeah, some great shots of the two of you. You weren't that much older than Charlie at the time. Or now. Here's Lydia for birdie to get it into red figures.
It's just one of those short putts that you want to make sure to give it enough pace.
There's that move you talked about.
Yeah, she's definitely very deliberate with her routine, keeps it the very same every time. For a lot of players, it becomes like a dance. It's all part of the movement of the setup. One movement leads into the next.
And we talked about that third into the 18th at Le Golf National, nursing a one-shot lead at the time. And this was sporty as well. A little more on the line. Over at the 17th, the second shot for Lydia Ko.
She set up really square to this, as we talked about, that little left to right movement she likes to have. Whole location on top of the big ridge on the front of the green today. Didn't quite get the bounce. She was very confused.
Long birdie putt up the ridge here at the 17th for Lydia. How far right she's looking.
They play so much break here, and it's slow, and the slope is right in front of you too, which makes it hard to judge the second half of the putt. You're already having to hit the putts harder than you think. What magnificent.
And she still has the creativity. Now the ball striking is beginning to come back. She was brilliant at the Golf National.
And you wonder if just with that, the Hall of Fame
Major is coming for Charlie Hull, and at least one. So we've seen this from Lydia in the last year or so. Teeing the ball down low and letting it rip here at 18.
Yeah, and these very firm fairways might help with a little bit more of a release, but that's still quite a ways back.
Got a Scott on the bag. Nothing wrong there. But she's playing great as she did there. Second shot for Lydia Ko at the 18th.
She's done this beautifully today. Dial in a little wedge, control the spin. I almost feel like she might have caught that a touch heavy right there. A little fat.
If you've got a ticket, you can get inside that fence. But plenty of good views from outside as well. And Lydia Ko, who came here in 2013 as an amateur, she's been basking in the glow. Sister Sura was there with her. Husband June is here this week. He's at St. Andrews for the first time, the youngest ever get into the Hall of Fame. Kari Webb qualified, but she didn't have her 10 years yet. She was just 25 when she earned enough points, but the 10-year rule, which has since been eliminated. This is the 10th year Lydia Ko has been out here. 10 years ago, she joined the tour.
I thought it was funny. She said about her medal that she has. She goes, "Oh yeah, it's just in my backpack in a towel. I might put that in the hotel safe. Just throwing that out there."
Good call.
But said it's been fun to share that, certainly with her husband and her family.
'71 will work on this day.
Yeah, considering coming into the week.
It's tied for 32nd at the moment. And now Lydia to shoot 71. Okay, that's just the 7th round under par posted so far today.
Did exactly what she needed to do today. Get off to a solid start. And well played. She's in a good position. It's kind of what she did in Paris.
Thanks so much. Here with Lydia Ko. And Lydia, anything under par today is a really good score. How did you put it together and manage to get into the clubhouse with a round of 71?
Yeah, I'm just excited that I'm done. I was telling my coach Holton out there on the range that all you can do is really laugh. I mean, it's so windy that, if you hit a missed shot or even a good shot, it could be miles away from the hole. So yeah, I think I just tried to stay patient and know that it's going to be hard for everyone. And it was windy to the point where it's even hard to putt, and you're just trying to hit the center of the club face on a putter, which is strange to say, but it was difficult, and I knew that it was going to be a challenge. So just keeping my head high, and if I am out of position, kind of take my medicine and go from there.
You said after Muirfield a couple of years ago, you started to embrace the challenge. How did that help today?
Yeah, Muirfield was, I think, one of the rare times I actually loved playing on links. I think there are just so many more variables when you come over and play the Women's Open, and sometimes you're sitting there and you could think, oh, what didn't go in your favor, but when you start thinking like that, you're probably not going to play good. So I'm just trying to enjoy it, and I think after that Women's Open, I realized that no matter what draw you have or how difficult the conditions is, there's a ball and the hole. So at one point, it's going to go in there. So I'm just trying to make my share of birdies and pars, and just enjoy it, because I'm gonna make mistakes. But if I get too irritated by just hitting it in one bunker or in the rough, then I'm gonna keep digging myself a hole. So just kind of look onwards and just enjoy it, because this is a historic place, and it's a treat just to be here.
It was a treat to watch you today put together that round.